Another doctor came and he asked me, he said, so tell me, what did you take? I said, man, this is what I took. I drank some coffee this morning. I ate a bowl of cereal. He said, you sure? He said, based on your pupils, it looked like you was on some hard drugs like cocaine.
Damn! Oh my God!
What's up, guys? So today we're gonna talk about my wild and unpredictable week I had this past week. Man, it was a little scary for you, boy. And I know I put up a posting maybe about 3 or 4 days ago, kind of notifying you guys as to what was going on with my health. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of contemplated whether I should put that post there, because I'm not the type of person who like to make those sympathy posts with me in the hospital or anything like that, man. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to tug on people's heartstrings for attention. And not saying that when people do that, they want attention, but I'm just saying that I don't like that type of attention. And so I was kind of contemplating whether I should do it or not. And the only reason I did it is because I do get people who ask me about the healthcare, the quality of healthcare, health insurance, and things like that here in Dominican Republic. And they always ask me to make videos about it. And typically, the information videos, I typically leave that for my wife, man, because her channel is focused more on information, and my channel is focused on my perspective, or like my wife say, perspective, and my experience. And so I like to make videos more focused on that rather than informational. Since what happened to me this week, I decided why not take the opportunity to share my experience with you guys so you can kind of get an idea of how things work and the cost. The first thing we're going to talk about is what actually happened to me. I take supplements, and I switched my supplements that I was taking for some new supplements. So I take prostate supplement pills. And not because I have issues with my prostate, but I just take prostate supplement pills. You know how you take supplements just to make sure, it's more like a maintenance thing. Like, sometimes I take liver supplement pills, just to kind of keep everything, we getting older, so you want to make sure everything greased and oiled and hitting on all cylinders. So, and the ones that I generally take, I have been taking them for well over a year. And so I decided to change. I'm on Amazon one day looking, and I was like, you know what, let me try a new brand. And so I tried this new brand, and when I tell you, my body reacted horrible to it. It had the most unpredictable reaction to these pills that I have ever seen in my life, or my body has seen in its lifetime. Man, when I tell you, I went from 100% down to, I want to say 1%, because I felt like I was close to death. Now, I don't know what it feels like to be close to death, but it had to be somewhere where I was at that point in time. My body was gone. The day started off really, really well. It was Tuesday. I typically cook on Tuesdays, and I ended up going to the grocery store to grab some things, and also stopped by my courier, where the pills were. I was there to pick up a package, and the package had some gloves that I typically wear when I'm cooking, and it also contained the pills. So once I get home, I tear up the package, open the pills, take 3 of them, because that's what they recommend. You take 3 pills. So it had to be around, man, probably about, at this time, it had to be around 10 o'clock. So I'm in the process of doing my recording and cooking. And at the time, I was to put the casserole, because I was making a casserole, into the oven for 1 hour. I put it in the oven, and then I walk over here to my desk. And then my eyes starts getting like, I don't even want to say blurry, but it just seemed like it was smoky. And I said, it can't be smoky in here, man. I just turned on the oven, so I walked back in the kitchen, and I said, you know what? It ain't smoking in here, man. So I walk back up here, and I look outside, and I say, okay, it's bright outside. Let me walk outside and to see. So I walk outside, and I kind of like open my eyes like this, and it's still like this hazy. Like I said, it wasn't blurry, it was like hazy, like it was smoke. I was like, this ain't right. So I go back and I sit at my desk, and I'm thinking, I'm like, then at that point, my head starts to spin. So I get up, I walk over here, and you know how you just try to walk around and kind of walk it off, and I was doing like walking off. And man, it's just started to get worse. It was like I went from 100 to like 50, just like that. 100 to 50, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even in stages. It was like 100 to 50. And then once I got to 50, it was like, I said, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and then a little of it came up. And so I was sitting there, and I said, you know what? This ain't right. So I pick up the phone, and I start to dial my wife. And keep in mind, my wife is not even here. She was on her way to Boachia. She had already left. And Boachia is like 2 hours and 45 minutes away. And so I'm picking up the phone, and I can't even see her number clearly. I can't even see anything on the screen clearly. So I'm trying to put this up to my face like that to try to see the number. Finally, I found a number. I called her, no answer. Found my daughter's number, called her, no answer. And then my daughter ended up calling me back. And I said, hey, you gotta put your mom on the phone. And she said, so she put her mom on the phone. I said, man, something is not right. She said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know, man, but it's not right. I'm vomiting, my head is spinning. I said, anybody here that you can send over here to make sure I'm good? She said, let me call someone, I'll call you back. So she called me back. She said, Diocini is coming. I said, okay. And right after that, I'm still letting it come up. And so the phone rings again. And I don't know how much time has passed and none of this. All I know is I'm going through the stages and the motions, and I'm vomiting, diarrhea, all at the same time. And so she says, Diocini says she's almost there. Open the door for her. So I'm sitting here at this time in front of the couch, and I just got my boxers on, and I had some shorts, not some shorts, but I had some sweatpants right over here at this chair right here next to me. So I had to crawl over it from the couch to unlock the door, back crawled over here to put some sweatpants on. Keep in mind, I couldn't even walk because I couldn't even lift myself up. I'm serious, I could not even walk. If I would have tried to walk, I would have failed and probably hurt myself bad. I couldn't even walk, I was crawling the whole time. I was able to crawl over here, put my pants on, and crawl back over to the couch, wanting to go back to the bathroom because I had to continue to vomit. And so that was I just sat in front of the couch, and I just did my thing there, just did it there. Next thing you know, the phone rings because they were calling because they have to get permission to let people up. There was no way I could have made it over here to the phone. And I was thinking, please let this lady up so she can take care of me and do what I need to do. They did let her up. Door was open. She runs in. Well, she comes in. I wouldn't say she ran in. She comes in. She looks at me. I'm slumped over, in my own mess. And she say, James, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she grabs me, lifts me up like this, pulls me. She sits on the couch, pulls me to her, and she just started wiping all this sweat from my face. My arms were sweat. My whole shirt that I had was just covered and drenched. And I was just sitting there, and she was fanning me. So I heard her get on the phone. She got on the phone. I heard her calling somebody. And I heard her say our address. So I was assuming at this point that she was calling 911. Again, I was alert. I could hear what was going on. I just couldn't do anything about it. And I didn't have no sense of, time. So once she got off the phone, she kept just trying to keep me up because she kept slapping my face. She went and got some water, throwing water on my face, trying to keep me up. And I'm just sitting there. And she's like, James, trying to get her. And just imagine her trying to pick me up, 215 pounds, trying to pick me up off the floor. And she just couldn't do it. So next thing you know, 911 comes in. As soon as they get in, they started, doing their medical stuff. blood pressure, you know, putting, sticking me in my arm and all that type of stuff. They asked for my insurance card. I remember thumbing through my wallet, getting in my insurance card. After that, they said, okay, we got to take him to the hospital. And I'm like, I can't go anywhere, man. I diarrhea in my pants and I threw up all over. I got to change my clothes. And so she went and got me some clothes. Went in the bathroom. The paramedic helped me change my clothes, man. That was embarrassing as hell. But anyway, and then it helps me out to the elevator, get downstairs, put me into the ambulance. And what do you know? I can't even fit in the ambulance. I got to put my knees up. I was too long in the ambulance. So I'm 6'1", almost 6'2", maybe 6'1 and a half. I can't even fit in the ambulance. Ambulance, I can see it, a little bit shabby, but who cares? It needs to get me where I need to get. So they take me over to the military hospital first because my wife didn't even know where to send me. She didn't, you know, we haven't experienced something like this before. And her family, all her family is in Villamella. So if there's a problem with them, they just go to the public hospital. And they also have a hospital in Villamella. So that's where they'll go. But she didn't know where to send me here. But we have a friend or a family. Well, let me not call him a friend. My wife's cousin's ex-husband works at the military hospital here in Naco. Because it was closer, they took me there first. And so I remember arriving there, and I remember and when they pulled me out on the stretcher, what is that stretcher? Yeah, they pulled me out on the stretcher. I guess that's a stretcher. And I rolled in, I could tell that was the place because they had all these military uniforms on. And man, there was a whole bunch of people around. And man, as soon as everybody around me looking at me, here I go again. 2 or 3 times right there, letting it out. And so they checking my pupils, they're sticking me in my arm, blah, blah, blah. Diocene is there telling them what was wrong. She said, James, slapped me on the face. Hey, James, asking me these questions. What did you eat? What did you take? What's all this? And I'm trying to answer it, but I can't. They kept saying, what kind of, and I was telling them I was taking pills. What kind of pills was you taking? And I was like, I couldn't even tell them. It was just some, I'm saying I couldn't even talk. It was crazy. So they finally said, he's like, man, his pupils are dilated so bad. We need to send him to a bigger hospital. There they go, throw me back on the stretcher and back into another ambulance. I was able to fit in that one. And so I could hear him, turn on his siren. We're going, and he's in a stick shift. And man, when I tell you, he's sticking this thing and I'm laying down and it's hitting my stomach like this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Soon as we get to the hospital, they open the door. My wife's cousin, Chris Melder, is there waiting on me. And they pull me out on the stretcher. I go again, bloop, bloop, 3 or 4 times. They couldn't even move me. They turned me on my side, had a garbage can there, and I'm just letting it all out. At this time, it's around 3 o'clock, and the only reason I know it's 3 o'clock because on my papers, it tells me what time I went in. I went in at 3 o'clock. So keep in mind, this started at around 11 o'clock. The first call to my wife was at 11 a.m. When I got to the main hospital, which the hospital I went to was Cedimat, it was around 3 p.m. And Cedimat is a nice hospital here in Santo Domingo and Plaza La Salud and it's Santa Fe. Now, don't get me wrong, Plaza La Salud is nice too, but Cedimat they're both on the same property, but Cedimat is a little bit more, just a little bit step above, in my opinion, than Plaza La Salud. Now, I went to Plaza La Salud before, but there's always a lot of people in Plaza La Salud. But Cedimat, I don't know, maybe because I went to the emergency room. I never went to the emergency room in Plaza La Salud, so I don't know. And I know somebody was saying, oh, you went to a private clinic than a public hospital. Listen, man, they all hospitals. Yes, I went to a private. They call public hospitals, and they call private clinics. They call hospitals that, that's not public. They call them private clinics. They're all hospitals to me. I have insurance. There's no need for me to go to a public hospital. I go to a private hospital, which is, they call them private clinics. I don't know why, but anyway, I get there. Chris Melder's there. She's telling the doctor what's happening to me. They roll me into to my room, and I'm in there. They come in there, man. They putting stuff on my finger, throw the IV in me. They start sticking me and poking me and doing all this. She's asking me questions. I'm having to tell them again what happened, because at this point she didn't even know what happened, because she wasn't, I don't think she spoke to dear Cindy. So she's asking me again what happened. At this time, I'm able to talk just a little bit more. I was getting better is an understatement, because I really wasn't getting better, but I would probably say I increased probably about 10% from maybe 1%. I was at 10%. So I felt myself kind of getting a little bit better. And so about an hour into there, I went into, they took me into this place where they did a scan around my head. Then they pushed me back into a room. And around maybe about 4:30, my wife had made it back. And then I seen her. I wasn't even expecting her to come back, man. I just told her, man, just send somebody with me. That's all. That's all I need. Just send somebody here. I just need somebody here with me. But when I seen her, I was pleasantly surprised, man. And then from there, she stayed with me, of course, the whole time after that. But I would say that the experience with 911 and going into the emergency room for me was pleasant. I can't really say how long it took for 911 to get there. It didn't seem like it took too long for the ambulance to get there. But when I got to the emergency room, when I got to Cedimat, matter of fact, even in the military hospital, they had people who were talking to me in English. They had a lady that was speaking to me in English. I was able to communicate. And even in Cedimat, they had several people in there where I was able to communicate with them in English. So that was pleasant too, man. And I'm telling you, man, they handled me with kid gloves. They made sure I was okay. They checked on me. They brought me water. It was not like they threw me in a room and didn't check on me, didn't do anything. I had doctors constantly stopping by, or nurses, not doctors, but nurses and the main doctor will constantly stop by to make sure I was good. So, and I ended up, after my wife got there, I think my wife got there maybe about 4 o'clock. I think she got there maybe about 4 o'clock. And from there, I stayed in the hospital till about 9 o'clock. They didn't do anything after they did the scan. I guess they were just there monitoring. I know they were monitoring my blood pressure because I was on the machine, and every now and then it'll check my blood pressure. So they was monitoring my blood pressure, and they was also kept checking my pupils and things like that. And I heard the doctor. Here's another thing I thought was weird. What's funny too is that I remember the doctor asking her, "Did I take anything?" And she was like, "No, he don't take anything." And she left out the room and went somewhere because she had to get a call. And then another doctor came and he asked me, he said, "So tell me, what did you take?" I said, "Man, this is what I took. I drank some coffee this morning. I ate a bowl of cereal, and I took those pills. That was it. That was all I did." He said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." I said, why y'all keep asking me that? He said, "Because it looks like," he said, "based on your pupils, it looked like you was on some hard drugs like cocaine. What's that Percocet?" He said, "You don't take that?" I said, "Man, hell no, I don't take that." What do you mean? Hell no, I don't take that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess they have to ask that, but I just found that weird. Like, bruh, come on, man. No, I don't take no cocaine, bruh. So by the time they released me, I was able to walk. So I walked out of the hospital, no problem. I still was a little slow and my stomach was still a little bit upset, but I was able to walk. So after speaking with people about this particular situation, they were telling me how they also had the same issue with supplements and that you got to be careful with those supplements. I didn't realize you had to be that careful with supplements, that your body could just react, because I'm thinking these are just natural herbs. So for me, I'm done with supplements. I stick to my teas, man. I drink a lot of natural teas. I'm sticking to that. But those supplements, I'm done. I never want to feel like that again. So guys, I think I covered everything, kind of give you an idea of what happened. But what I want to do is I want to just go over like the paperwork in terms of the things they did real quick and how much I paid. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. So the first section here, it talks about some of the laboratory tests that they were doing. As you can see, they did a glucose test, a creatine test, magnesium, potassium, sodium. I'm assuming that's what that is in English, based on the Spanish version right there. And then the second right here where it says Taza de Uso de Sala, those were the emergency, the ambulance services. As you can see, the price for that was 1,150 pesos. That's about $20 just for using the ambulance. And here's some of the medications that they, services that they gave me while I was in there. If you can see where it says the lactato, they call it. And that's just a fluid commonly used in medicine to treat dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, and other medications like captopril. And that's a medication that helps manage hypertension and ailments like that. Also, as you can see, they did something called a dimenhydrinate, and they use this to prevent and treat nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. If you go down to the next one where it says material medical dischable, that's just the disposable equipment or medical supplies that they use to treat me. And right here where you have servicio and procedimientos ambulatorios. And this is basically like outpatient service. And that's the doctor that treated me right there. And the last two are just diagnostic scans that they ran. One was a tomography scan and the other one was electrocardiogram scan. And you know, the tomography is x-ray, the detailed pictures inside of your body. And of course, the cardiac scan or just, you know, provides images of your heart and your blood vessels to diagnose, you know, heart disease. Just see if your, you know, things in your heart are, you know, about heart and your rhythm in your heart is beating right. So that's what that is. And I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, then correct me, guys. I'm not a doctor. I'm just trying to give you guys some information. And here on the last page, the total cost where it says Valor General, the total cost was 11,644 pesos, which is $202. If you go all the way down where it says Valor Cobertura, that is what my insurance paid, which is 10,148.44 pesos, which left me with a balance of 1,500 pesos, and in dollars out of my pocket for that experience was $26. That's what I paid for my medical emergency here in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Now, I know some people have some bad experiences because I saw in the comment where people said that it was a hard show for them. And I read in a comment where someone said they had a great experience just like I did. So that's why I'm never quick to throw out any of the Dominican Republic greatest hits, because so far my experiences that I typically hear from others who have bad experiences, mine have always been pleasant. So I still remain firm that Dominican Republic is still a great place to come, man, a great place to be. This is just a one-time experience. I can't say that my next experience is gonna be good because I don't know. All I know is this experience was pleasant for me, and my insurance that I had did its job, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was gonna have to come out of the pocket. I'm in that thing speaking English, because the whole time, me and my wife was like, why they still got you here? You seem to be okay. And I'm thinking to myself, they just trying to run out the clock. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, oh man, we finna pay an arm and a leg. Nah, $26. So they're not always trying to get you because you're a gringo. Sometimes the system actually works. And in this case, it actually works. So guys, until the end, remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're gonna live your best life. And I'm out. Peace.
Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, no. I just want to know.